Doesn't mean that 6 months after your vaccination or second dose, suddenly switch off, no protection. It wanes slowly over time. So what we observe is that as it wanes, around 6 to 9 months, you can take your third shot.
You've got your booster already, right?
You got it already. No,
I just became eligible, so I'm going to get mine soon.
Yeah, I got mine on Thursday. We know that crossing the road or driving, there is risk, but we don't fear. And we don't fear because we observe the rules. I cross the road only when the lights say I can cross, I don't say that I don't fear crossing the road and therefore I walk across anytime I want. And if I do that, I should be fearful. So therefore, I think it's not inconsistent now. You are not fearful so long as you know where the risks are and you have rules and you observe the rules. So this is what we are doing now. Don't be fearful of COVID. Try to lead our lives normally, but observe the rules.
We are looking out for our unvaccinated individuals because the risks are much higher. All the measures we have put in place are intended to safeguard the health and well-being of these unvaccinated persons. Imagine we have 1.5% of the population as unvaccinated seniors. Just 1.5%, but they make up 2/3 of the people in ICU or who have passed away. So it is a serious problem, and we are trying to look out for the safety of these individuals.
But even if you are young but unvaccinated, don't take for granted that you are safe. No? Our data show that if you are in your 40s, 1 in 100 end up in ICU. And if you are in your 50s, 2 in 100 unvaccinated people also end up in ICU.
Don't have to worry. We will provide flexibility for those who need to go to the shopping mall for medical treatment at the GP or at the dentist. Kids under 12 are already exempted from the vaccine differentiated measures today, so that continues. On top of that, there may be caregivers who are unvaccinated who need to bring the children for these childcare services in the shopping mall. Again, we will provide flexibility for such cases. So you can definitely still continue with your staycation in hotel. Of course, if you are unvaccinated, then you may not be able to go into a restaurant in a hotel. Well, there will be places that unvaccinated persons have to go to, whether it's markets, supermarkets, or places where they need to run their errands. So we can't stop that, but we appeal to everyone who is unvaccinated. You know the risks are higher when you are not vaccinated, so please take the necessary precautions. We'll really rely on the coffee shop operators to see how best they can implement this new measure. On the government's part, we will do spot checks. All of us must do our part. We must exercise responsibility.
Ventilation is critical. So both buses, MRT, and for that matter planes have very good ventilation. But it's also important to do our part. Don't chit-chat and pull down our mask and chit-chat. You can keep public transport very safe.
We've actually looked at the data. Most of the positive cases in recent weeks have visited shopping centres, hawker centres, and coffee shops. And that's why we've extended the vaccine differentiated measures to these settings.
Oh, call us. If your home is not suitable, we'll take you to a community isolation facility. It is wrong of them to be positive and go around. So please exercise self-responsibility. Whole Singapore now, including the vulnerable, depend on each of us doing our part now. Ideally, yes, but there's practical difficulty because it's difficult to figure out each household has how many household members. So we resort to this. But remember, if you receive a notification from MOH, you can use the notification to withdraw from vending machines free ART kits. We need to open up our borders. 4 reasons. Number 1, Singaporeans need to travel. for study, for work, for family, for leisure as well. Second, aviation is a big sector, 200,000 jobs. Third is the situation has changed. In the past, when Singapore has very few cases and outside is burning with so many cases, makes sense to have strict border controls. But now, Singapore have high cases and other countries are actually stabilizing, those in Europe, US, UK, for example. So it makes sense to actually open up and allow border travel. Finally, we're a small country. We need to be connected to the world to survive, to earn a living. And I think we need to secure our future.
In fact, many of the countries we've opened up to have a lower infection rate than us now.
Indeed, for now.